Oh, good. Okay. Oh, wow. I have a delay here. Okay, looks like I have a delay here. I don't know what's going on. I am having major difficulties, but it looks like I'm on. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. All right. All right. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't understand what's going on with YouTube. It's not. It's supposed to be doing a presentation right now, and instead it's doing this weird thing. It must be the. Is it the internet speed? All right. Alright, looks like everything's fine. I apologize for this, everyone. Okay, let's hit the reset button here and then start in 5 seconds. Hola, Mina-san. Welcome. This is Henry Michael Brown, creator of Savage Strikers, here with a presentation of the 112th draft of Savage Strikers. I do apologize ahead of time for that for the error, but looks like everything is coming along fine. I hope that the stream doesn't collapse on me. I have no idea what has happened, but it looks like everything is fine. So, welcome to my presentation of Savage Strikers, the 112th draft. So, basically, gonna do a walkthrough of the new rules and what to expect from the game. Let's see. I'm gonna walk you through how the gameplay works. Basically, that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, I don't have my R&D table with me because I'm at a undisclosed location, temporary, until my office is built. But so I'm going to be relying on this slideshow presentation. Of how the game works. So unfortunately, I won't be able to really demonstrate physically how the cards work. So I am crossing my fingers and hoping that this slideshow will be able to really bring home how Savage Strikers work now. So it's going to be a wild ride. So let's begin. Everyone, thank you for joining me. I hope you'll enjoy this presentation, and will join me for the next couple of weeks as I update Savage Strikers and every single fighter in the game. So let's start with some context, because I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who are joining in now wondering what is Savage Strikers and how it got here. Sorry, I'm fidgety. I'm just a little cold here, so it's a very cold day today. Cold night, really cold evening. So please bear with me. I'll keep the shivers to a minimum. Thank you for your patience on that one. Okay, so basically, Savage Strikers, the fighting card game, originally started in 2009. I started doing the first drafts for it. It originally was a trading card game called Combo Battler. It was a trading card game that was to be also a fighting game. Think Universal Fighting System, which is a trading card game with Capcom characters, SNK characters, and so on, as well as their own original fighters. I think they had their own original fighters. I think so. I'm not sure. Mortal Kombat characters were also in it. It's still running around. I think the last time I saw Jasco was publishing Universal Fighting System. They're the last company. I'm not sure that I'm aware of that's doing Universal Fighting System. But as you can see, this is what the early stages of what would become. This is the precursor, so to speak, of what will become Savage Strikers. As you can see, I'm not exactly spectacular. This is the 4th draft, which is where I stopped at. This here is the fighter card, and over here is the attack card. Well, the strike card, also called which is the attack card. Simple kick, special moves, and tech cards. And this was the layout, which would be the game mat. Honestly, I had a lot of ideas really for this. Some crazy ideas actually. The wave line, the discard, the battle stage, partner area for 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3. We're talking 2009. That's well over 13 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, right? Yeah, just about. I'm not good with my math right now, but yeah, there was a whole lot of ideas coming out of it. But how this particular game came to be, and later Savage Strikers, was this one simple question that I had. Basically, at that time I was playing, I believe Tatsunoko vs. Capcom came around 2009. I was also playing Arcana Heart, and another handful of anime style fighting games, Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, mostly in the arcades, but they had a scheme on the arcade stick, the fight stick. Here, I'll bring this over here. I got baby's first fight stick. But imagine, if you will, on the fight stick, this is perfect. So what I saw was not, these buttons, but just these 4 buttons, if you can see clearly. Just those 4 buttons. And it said Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. It said light, medium, heavy, and I guess a special. I'm not sure what it was named, but I was seeing how similar they all were, where they all had a light, medium, and heavy attack, as opposed to, say, Street Fighter, which had 6 buttons: light, medium, heavy punch, and light, medium, heavy kick, as well as let's say the SNK games, the SNK fighters, where they only had 4-button scheme, 2 for punch and 2 for kick, and so on. And of course, there's Mortal Kombat with its 5-button scheme, 6 if you want to include the run button. But the point is that I kind of found myself asking this question: how would a game like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom with that scheme be in card form? And that's when I thought of this game, Combo Battler. At the time, I was doing trading card games. I was experimenting with trading card game design, and I decided to create a card for Combo Battler, which would say light attack, medium attack, and heavy attack. So these were the precursors to what you would see in Savage Strikers. It was just those 3 specific cards that I built the Combo Battler around. Let's see if I can zoom in on this. Let me zoom in on this here. 150. So you zoom in on this, you'll notice right here on the fighter card, light attack, medium attack, and heavy attack. And this is how you would say the genesis of what will become Savage Strikers. Just these 3 attack forms. Then eventually I have the special attacks and everything. But I built the cards around these 3 attack buttons that you would find in anime style fighting games. And I built and started to work from there in terms of game design and such. You can see heavy attack is the special move one would perceive, and so on. So that was basically, I guess you could say, the impetus for what I would do in Savage Strikers. What will end up evolving to Savage Strikers. So later on down the line, I decided to try evolving the game. Instead of being a trading card game, I made it into a board game. And at that time, as a board game, well, let's just say it wasn't pretty looking. I originally I wanted a new name and I called it Martial Strikers. I renamed it to Martial Strikers. It was a horrible name, but I can assure you, it was it was not pretty when I started formulating it as a game board. I had this like little play mat for the player's personal mat, and want to talk about overkill. I put in so many different numbers, numerical calculations and such. It was just like, what am I building here? So I just shelved. So I pretty much shelved Martial Strikers for the next. Wow, how many years was that? Like a couple of years or so. I put it for like a couple of years. I just like never bothered touching it. It's like I need to really rethink this, and started working on the other games that I had, other games. So what ended up happening with Savage Strikers, what will become Savage Strikers, was that I joined this playtest group called NYC Playtest. You'll have to excuse my uhs. I have a habit of saying uhs. I apologize for the uhs. So I joined this group called NYC Playtest, and one of the playtesters, one of the game designers, had this game of theirs, which was of the genre known as deck building game. I've never heard of it before. From what I understood, it was influenced from Magic the Gathering and trading card games, so that was right up my alley. And basically, what the way deck building games work is you have this tableau of cards, or like a market. So it could be a tableau of cards, a group of piles, or it could be a single deck that you reveal, that you draw from the top card and form a long market. Either way, you have this market, and you have this starting pack of 10 cards that are the weakest, but it has money and a few other incentives. And what you would do is you would play the cards out, and you would build up the economy, and then you purchase cards from the market, and you add it to your deck. Well, you send it to the discard pile, which would then be added to your deck later on when you reshuffle, when you run out of, and then you use your new cards along with your current 10 cards to continue building and building until such time you would have an engine, and then you would have the ability to trash your cards, which in Magic the Gathering would be like removed from game, or and you would do that to focus your deck into this strong engine, and then you would just rinse, wash, repeat against your opponents to basically beat them. Dominion is the first one that started it all, and I recommend playing it for starters just to get an idea. My favorite one deck building game is Heart of Crown. It's basically you play an advocate, sort of like an advocate or a liaison for one of the princesses who are trying to be crowned queen, and you're trying to help build her reputation so she could get to her coronation, and you got to like outwit other players who are also playing advocates for their candidates for queen. It's a pretty trippy game, but it was very unique in its design. Very, very, very fun game. It's a very fun game to play. I would definitely recommend that. So Basically, when I saw when I did this play test and actually understood what the deck building game worked, I had this little snap and saw Combo Battler, Martial Strikers, as a deck building game, and I was like, yeah, this might work. So I renamed Martial Strikers to Savage Strikers and started designing a deck building game. It's and I took the combo battler mechanisms of light, medium, heavy, and incorporated into that, and the game worked. Basically, I had my tableau. I had the piles of cards to start off as a pile, and you would do damage, and you would build up economy. You buy cards, you add it to your deck, and so on. And it was a very long it was definitely a long process, but thankfully, thanks to NYC playtest, I was actually able to balance out hand sizes and damage scaling, health scaling. A lot of those balances and mechanisms are still present to this day. We're talking from the first draft. It's still present to this day in the 112th draft, and that's that's one of the best things that could have happened. So, so as the game started going more and more and more, I got it to where it was pitchable, and I started making pitches, these submission pitches for the past couple of years as a deck building game, prior to last year, and many of the publishers liked it. For some publishers, they already had fighting games that they've published, so they didn't exactly have room for mine. For others, they were not looking for card games or deck building games for that matter. So it was tough. And then something big happened along the way, and that was Combo Fighter. Combo Fighter came out. Now I know about the card game Yomi. I mean that I know about that game, but a game called Combo Fighter came out, and I checked and I tried it out and everything, and of course it had the rock paper scissors mechanic, as does Yomi. It has a rock paper scissors mechanic, because in fighting games, when you play fighting games, there's a rock paper scissors element to it. It's not really the focal point. It's just an element that happens to be there. And what it is, the way the rock paper scissors work is, when you punch, your punch is stronger than your opponent's throw move. Your throw move is stronger than your opponent's guard move when they do a block, and your guard move is stronger than your opponent's punch. So that's the way the rock paper scissors element works in this game. It's like attack, block, guard kind of thing. So that became that was like the focal point, and what I know, and so I was paying attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Play testers were pointing out, about the rock, paper, scissors element, but I didn't know how to incorporate it properly because of the way Savage Strikers was designed. There was also another key problem, was that I saw some criticisms over at BoardGameGeek.com regarding the rock, paper, scissors mechanic in general. For fighting games, and for some of them, for some of the readers, the commenters, they said that it was overglorified. I don't know if well, that's their criticism, and I took that into account. So I started brainstorming and wondering, how can I pull off a rock, paper, scissors mechanic for Savage Strikers without it being overglorified and not being identical to these other games that are already doing rock, paper, scissors. Like, how do I set it apart? How can I set it apart while also not being overglorified? That's the big question. and that took years to figure out. But I continued on, trucking along with the deck building game, along with pitching and doing submissions. I just focused on that because in the deck building game, you were alternating turns. There was no simultaneous play. You were just alternating turns. Player 1 would execute their combo. Player 2 had the ability to respond to player 1, a la the stack in Magic the Gathering. And that's the way, and then both players would switch. It was like an alternating type of thing. There was no simultaneous combat. And that was the big challenge if I wanted to evolve it. But that was something that was going to take a long time that I knew was going to take a long time to solve, but that didn't mean that I should freeze, game design altogether. And I just focused on, taking care of all the fighters that I had developed at that point, and just kept on, trucking, keep on researching. And then came the came the best thing that could have ever happened. So I was watching the FGC Place on YouTube. The name of the channel is FGC Place, short for Fighting Game Community, and all the top fighters, all the top players in the fighting game community were there. Itabashi Zangief, Daigo, and so on. Just name a few, a couple. But I was watching all these gameplays, and I'm just working my brain out. At this point, I started doing YouTube videos demonstrating Savage Strikers. Well, I haven't done that just yet. Sorry, I got ahead of myself there. The YouTube channels haven't happened yet. The YouTube videos haven't happened yet. So what ended up happening was, as I tried to figure out, I was looking up things like frame data, how frame data works, priority, advantage, and so on. And one day, I was watching this matchup. This player called Nauman, he's a Sakura player in Street Fighter V. And he took on another player who had Kage. And what happened was that at the very end, he had Nauman had the Kage player pinned to the corner of the screen. And Nauman did something that made me realize what was missing in rock, paper, scissors. Well, what would be a solution for rock, paper, scissors? And what he did was he dashed back. So normally in the position that he's in, he had the rock, paper, scissors element. He could have done a throw since his opponent was blocking, or he could have, or he had an opening since his opponent was also crouching, so he could have done an overhead. His opponent decided, since Nauman's character was standing, to do a low sweep, which was basically this leg sweep to knock Nauman's character off her feet. And what Nauman did was, while the animation was going on, he dashed back twice, and the kick whiffed. And before the animation was done, he dashed in and punished his opponent. And that was what basically clicked. Because the rock, paper, scissor element, while yes, the element works and everything, it didn't factor in movement, character movement. So I began watching as many videos as possible, observing the movement in relation to the rock, paper, scissors. And I've noticed that a lot of people, a lot of players' animations have been whiffing, missing those hitboxes because another player was either crouching or doing dash backs or jumping over or jumping up. A perfect example is Sagat. Sagat has a very, very high leg kick. He has a very high leg kick. And one of the things that I noticed was that his leg kick flew over the head of his opponent when they crouched. And that was because the hitbox didn't detect the hurtbox, because the hurtbox shrunk In terms of in gaming, in video game design terms. You have a hitbox and a hurtbox. And whenever they overlay each other like this, for example, the game detects it and damage is done. But if it's like this, it's not gonna detect it, and so no damage will be done. So that's a hitbox and hurtbox in a nutshell for video games, for fighting video games, and that was what got me to put the missing link in of what's wrong of rock paper scissors, how to not make it over glorified. So what I did is I took these old cards called technique cards, and this was these card types had crouch, dash, jump, and a few other things, and I renamed it the move card, and I incorporated it into the rock paper scissors. And what happened was that what I did was I made the move cards tie rock paper scissors. So no matter what you do with your rock paper scissors, if a move card is played, it goes into a tie, and then I incorporate a tiebreaker. And that's when I started refining the tiebreaker mechanisms. The tie-breaking mechanisms to make it a little bit more streamlined and more focused. And as a deck building game, it started working, and that's when I started doing the YouTube videos at this point. Then that's why I came into doing the YouTube videos, as you're seeing with the move cards, doing all the tie breaking. However, there was one more crucial element that had happened, and that was the game pacing. It slowed down, basically. It slowed down when playing simultaneously and going through the whole thing, but the buying mechanism was slowed down. There was just no the rock paper scissors with the move tying sped the game up so fast that the deck building genre, the deck building mechanisms could not keep up with it. And I had tried throughout all those YouTube videos to try and get it to churn in. I was still trying to figure that one out. That was sorry about that. But yeah, it was very tricky. It was all there, but it just wasn't all there, so to speak. Saying like on paper it's saying this is it, but it was like in practice it's not it. There was just a few things, and that's when I made the ultimate decision. To drop the deck building mechanism. And I was kind of sad because I started doing the deck building back in 2017, 2016. That's when I started doing it as a deck building game, and that was a lot of years of work to do, only to drop it. But the key factor, though, as sad as it was, the reason why I wasn't like devastated is because it goes all the way back to Combo Battler, and that is that, and it goes all the way back to Combo Battler, and that was the big question: how do I get light attack, medium attack, and heavy attack buttons to be translated into a card game? And that question was not gone. It still wasn't gone. It's still there, and it was still working, and the evolution actually helped it more so than anything else to be actualized and realized. And that's and that for me was like, okay, everything that I had built up to this point was not 100% gone. They were not wiped out. The only thing that really got wiped out from the rules was buying the cards and the whole entire layout. That was it. That was the only thing that was lost. But everything that everything that was in here in Combo Battler, and later on in Savage Strikers, the deck building fighting game, is still in this edition. It's just that now it became more refined thanks to the what I believe is the solution to rock paper scissors, to make it interesting, to make rock paper scissors interesting. Keyword there, interesting. So when I took, so I did the evolution. I started evolving it, and I got it to where it needed to be, and I did lots of play testing, on and on and on, and I got it to work, and I brought it to PAX Unplugged last December 2021. That was just a few weeks ago, down at Philadelphia Convention Center, and I printed out all 12 fighters and did the play test, and it was met with resounding results the first night. But there was one crucial problem, and that was that the game was slowed down. How you say it? There was a friction, and the friction was that I was allowing both players to activate both cards, instead of just one player activating one card and the other player failing. And that was just a one little friction that needed to be undone. That was pretty much it. So the next night, next day, Sunday morning, or was it Sunday afternoon? Sunday morning. I changed that rule and made quick adjustments to the cards. I didn't even have my computer with me. I just had to do like scratches out, pencil out stuff and so on. But I was able to guide the players, and I did it where the winner of the initiative would activate their card, and the player and the loser didn't, and the game just went fast, and those players enjoyed it. Those playtesters enjoyed it, and that resulted in where we're at now with draft 112. I spoke a lot. I thank you for I had to really do all of this. I hope you stayed around this long. I do apologize for taking this long, honestly, but I had to really explain the origins of Savage Strikers and how I got to this point, in order for you to understand where what I wanted to accomplish and how I got here, and hopefully where I'm looking to go from this point forward. So let us proceed with the I guess game demo. It's not much of a demo, so we'll start off with the cards here. So these are the cards in Savage Strikers. Up here on the top, you have the striker card. Now you have the name on the top left, the origin, their country of origin. In this case, Nagisa Hino's from Japan. Now this was suggested over at PAX Unplugged, the playtest, and that is a meta type, sort of like the beatdown fighter or the Shoto fighter. For now, I just only say meta type because once I start doing the updates and I start refining them and making it a little more clear. But this is just a holdover. And then, of course, the card type, which is the striker type. Of course, this is my own personal image of Nagisa. It's not final. The image is not final. In fact, I just wanted to make a quick note that the art that I'm using on the main cards are all proxy arts. This is for the purpose of contextualizing Savage Strikers as a fighting card game. This is not a final artwork. This is not in any way endorsed by Capcom or SNK or any other fighting game company. This is just placeholders for publishers so they can understand that this is a fighting game and this is how it would look like as a fighting game. The artwork is hopefully will be taken care of either in-house or through contractors or something. And the graphic design of the cards are also not final. If I go through with the publisher, these will most likely be either adapted, changed, upgraded. I'm not sure how they're gonna do it, but this is not final. This is not a final product. This is still a prototype. Okay, so back to the striker card. We have the name, the country of origin, the type of the meta type, the combat style, the type of card, which is always going to be a striker. Got the image, vitality, which is your striker's the health. Stun defense, how much damage they can absorb in a single round before they get dizzied out, and hand size. Every fighter's got hand size. The range is 5, 6, and 7. That's the sweet spot. This hand size variable, 5, 6, and 7, has been in existence since, I believe, the 5th draft of Savage Strikers. Since the 5th draft of Savage Strikers, and of course the flavor text. It's supposed to be like their victory quotes, their little victory quotes. This card, the striker card, is independent of the deck. It sits right in front of you for you and your opponent to see and help keep track of. And finally, and now we got the 4 cards which are going to be put in your deck, Now, unlike the trading card game where you buy a whole bunch of pack of random cards and you build a deck out of it, or the deck building game where you have a tableau of cards and you purchase it in real time to build your deck, Savage Strikers, the fighting card game, is static. The decks are going to be static. They'll be fixed in place. It will not be customizable. It's not a living card game. It's not a living card game. It's not a trading card game. It's not a deck building card game where you customize the deck. What is in those 40 cards is it. I'm not sure if in the future there'll be adjustments or something like that. I don't know. I'm not even at that point. But my point is that this is every single character deck, every single fighter deck is 40 cards, and they have their own unique moves and move set and so on, and it's fixed. So what to expect? What will you find in this 40 card deck? Well, you're going to find the 4 cards that you're going to play with: attack, throw, guard, and move. I kind of realized, I'm moving for some weird, you know what? So let's see here. I don't know why I thought that. I apologize. I thought I had the cursor out here. Sorry, I don't have a cursor out here. So you're gonna have to. I'll have to really make sure I make it clear. So here's the thing. You got your attack card, throw card, guard card, and move card. They all have the same design. As you can see, they have the same graphic design. So what you're going to find is on the top left of your 4 cards is the name of the card. You got light attack, cards like block, flip, crouch. On the right is your target. So there are 4 targets, which is the attack card, the throw card, the guard card, and the move card. And they each got their own letter and color that corresponds with their card color. So as you can see, the letter T here next to attack, it's in yellow. The throw card is yellow, and so on. Basically, this is what your card is strongest against when you take on your opponent. So in this case, light attack is stronger than a throw card. Over here, the throw card is stronger than the guard card, which is blue, and your block card is stronger than your attack card, which is green. And move cards, they're a bit on the wild card side, but so basically they have their own target. They also can target depending on what they are. They can target guard cards or throw cards, but they're kind of like a wild card at this point. Then you got the name of your fighter, just to avoid confusion or something. Then you got your card types, your type and subtype. So there are many different types of subtypes. So you can see here, this is normal. This is the normal subtype. There's also Fury, Frenzy, Unique, Savage. I think that's all of it. Yeah, I think those are the 5 subtypes. I think there's one more subtype. Sorry, I apologize for that. But no, so this is the subtype, and there are many different subtypes for each of the 4 cards. Well, not really many. You understand what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. These are the subtypes. Now, right down here is the combo interface. Right here in the middle that you're looking at here, with these little arrows. On the top line is your meter cost. Basically, they're your combo meter. Think of it as your combo meter in fighting games that you would see at the bottom of the screen. That would build up, and give you access to specialized moves, EX moves, super combos, ultra combos, those kind of things. V triggers in Street Fighter V, or those kind of specialized effects that you can enhance your character with. So they will be marked in blue. You'll see it later in the presentation. But there's a maximum of 6. Maximum of 6, and there are tokens, actual physical tokens that you would use to do the count. Next, on the bottom line here are your frame arrows. They go up to 6. As you can see here, they have 2 colors, black and red. Black basically is continuous. You're free to continue on and on and on. This is how you get to execute your combos. They help break ties. They can be manipulated by other effects and so on. And if you see just only black, when you're doing a combo, you can keep a combo going. But if you were to see this one red arrow here, it basically ends your combo automatically, so to speak. And finally, you have your effect box that you see down here, which gives you effects, to enhance, assist, and so on. And if you can see, I'm hoping you can see very clearly, you're reading it correctly. These are fighting game community terms. These are terms you would find in the fighting game community if you were to watch competitions like Capcom Cup or what is it? What are the other ones? Evolution, and so on. Cancel, Tech, Wake Up. Boost is a little something that I came up with for this game in particular. But there's a combination of original terms as well as classic fighting terms that you're going to find throughout the game. Next up, I forgot the last 2 here. Sorry about that. Now you'll see these little numbers here, and this gray out. This is basically your damage and your resource. So in this instance here, red 3, light attack does 3 damage, and flip will do 10 damage. And whenever you do damage, you get a physical token, which you will use to pay for meter. Some cards won't give you cards that require you to pay meter won't give you meter. Maybe some might give you the ability to draw a card, which is what this little icon here is on the block card. With these little gray things going down like that. That is supposed to be representing the drawing from a deck. So you can also draw a card. You can also draw a card from this deck. Whenever you play this card. So when you play a block card, you get to draw a card. If you do light attack and do damage, you get a token to pay for the economy. So those are the cards in a nutshell. Okay, and this is the game layout. So what happens in what's going to happen in this game is you're going to take your deck, your 40 card deck, and you shuffle it up and you place them face down. You have your discard pile. And I apologize, I screwed up down here. This is not the striker card. This little gray area here, that's the discard pile, and Nagisa's striker card is not the discard pile. That's the striker card. But if you look at Brock up here at the top, this is correct. You got the striker card, your deck, your discard pile. I apologize for that. And this is your play area, which is basically where you're going to play your cards. As you can see here, the players played simultaneously, and then a combo got executed as a result. That will be explained in a moment in the presentation. But this is what your play area would look like. Which is a big change from what you saw in Combo Battler. And if you've seen the deck build the videos for for the deck building version of Savage Strikers, this is a very stark difference. There's no setup needed. You just take your deck, you shuffle it, you drop it down, draw your cards, and that's it. Just make sure you keep your striker cards separate. Okay. So your objective is to win 2 out of 3 matches, theoretically. The reason why I say theoretically is because many of the play tests to date have ended in 6 rounds on an average. On average, give give a plus minus 1 round, 1 or 2 rounds. So theoretically, when you get used to your own fighter, when players get used to their fighters and their fighter decks, I'm expecting them to move a lot faster and a lot faster because they already know how their fighter decks work, their character decks work, and they would also know what the metagame is with their opposing fighters and who they choose. So I'm kind of anticipating a little more expediency, more expediency of the game, and will result and I'm banking on that the game will be so fast, fast enough, not so fast, just fast enough that players could pull off at most 3 matches within the allotted time. I'm expecting for a best of 3 match to go 1 hour. Max, which is sufficient, but I'm hoping that the speed will go down as players get more and more expert-like with the game. Whereas newcomers will probably take an hour to learn, understand, get a handle, and then start learning their fighters. So you go through a match, a normal match, and the match ends, and a winner is decided in one of 2 ways. The traditional knockout, which is basically reducing your opponent's vitality to 0. You win the match. And then there's the time over. So the time over, unlike video games where you have an actual moving clock, we don't have a moving clock. We'll see. Maybe I'm sure House Rules will do that. I doubt it. I mean, it's a card game. It's a whole different type of pacing. But time over. The way it works is that the first player who runs out of cards in their deck to draw from automatically ends the game, and the player with the most vitality wins. Now, originally in draft 111 and the previous drafts, you would be able to cycle your deck. So if you ran out of your deck, you took your discard pile, shuffle it up, and then you would have a fresh deck to play with. And what I did is I limited it to just 1 shuffle. So you shuffle once, and if you run out of it again, it ends the time. The thing is that from the play tests, and it's been very consistent, nobody's been cycling their deck. So I came to the conclusion, especially with the end of 6 rounds, that there's no need to make that a rule. So it's just you run out of deck, and that's it. Game ends, and you go to health. So this would help put a little bit more expedite the game for one. Help speeds the game up, and allows players to decide their strategies and such. I mean, some of them might try and turtle or stall out or some way, that kind of thing. There's a lot of risks in running out of your deck, but. This one play tester, had pointed out to me how cool it would be to just you play, just have like a 20 card deck and you play through and you cycle through. But the problem is that I don't. Given the design of this game, 20 cards is not enough to be able to truly fully appreciate executing combos and. Which is the whole the whole basis of this game. You want the whole basis to get to do combos and such, and you're not going to see every single card. But I don't think. But from what I've observed from all the play tests at PAX, and it was a lot of play tests. Nobody really cared that they didn't see all the cards. Not a single player pointed out that they didn't get to see all the cards, and that's actually a big deal. They were satisfied that they didn't play they didn't play through the entire deck. They were satisfied with the fact that they were getting the knockouts, and it was and they were able to get it at a prompt time of their satisfaction. So it made sense that there will be no deck cycling, and I don't have to worry about players trying to get through the whole entire deck. Like all the cards getting played through. I mean, for playtesting purposes, yeah, all the cards have to be play tested. But at the end of the day, when it gets put to market, I'm confident that players will be satisfied. And being that this is the best 2 out of 3 matches, if that can be achieved, will result in won't matter if because you'll still get to see the entire deck in a best of 3 match, because you're always going to be reshuffling and getting a fresh new hand of cards and such. So that's the game's objective. Okay, so the turn structure of the game. Now we're going into the meat and potatoes. The turn structure. Savage Strikers is played in rounds, and each round is shared. Okay, which means that both players are going to play simultaneously. And there are 2 phases, and there are only just 2 phases. That's it. Unlike most card games where they got like 3 or 4, it's just 2 straight up phases. You have the neutral phase and the reset phase. And they basically emulate what you would see in a fighting game, where people are doing the neutral game, and when they stop moving around, that's called a reset. So this is what I'm hoping will emulate that you will see in a fighting game. So neutral phase is where both players will play their cards simultaneously to try to gain initiative to execute combos, and that is your feedback loop. You want to get to those combos quickly, as quickly as possible. And the reset phase is the end of the round, where you do normal cleanup like you would see in tabletop games, Magic the Gathering, deck building games. All card games have a cleanup phase, and that's what the reset phase does. You discard your cards, you restore health, that kind of stuff, and draw back your hands. In this case, you restore your stun defense, because that's what happens in fighting games. When both players go into a reset, you see those games with a stun meter. You'll see the stun meter, rebuild itself and everything. Street Fighter is a perfect example of that. So we'll start with the neutral phase. So during the neutral phase, both players will take their hand and they pick one card. Okay, and they're going to play. And they're going to engage in a sub round called a set. This is what a set looks like. 2 cards lined up just like that, but they played face down. This is what a set would look like. 2 cards facing off. During the neutral phase, you play a maximum of 5 sets, and the sets is to determine who gets to execute a combo. So during sets, there are 3 steps you're going to play through in this neutral phase, and that is the startup step, the active step, and the confirm step. So how this works? Well, this is the way it goes. All right. Startup step. So you take your hand, you pick a card, okay, and you place it face down. Your opponent will do the same thing simultaneously. So both cards are face down. Then, when you both are ready, you flip the cards face up, and what you're going to do is you're going to pay the charge cost, which is the meter that is above the frame arrows in your combo interface. If you have any blue charge, you take your tokens, your physical tokens, and you remove them from play, and you paid the thing. If by chance it's blank, like you see here with light attack and block, it is free, 100% free. So only when you see blue icons on in the meter, that's in the power meter. That's when you have to pay tokens, and you have to have tokens. And like I said, the only way you could get tokens is by doing damage, like 3 damage here on the light attack, to get a physical token. Okay, and then after you take care of the cost, your effect boxes are now active, and players can follow the instructions to resolve their effects. Now, this is very important because this requires timing. Effects like reversal, Effects like reversal. Sorry about that. Effects like reversal give you the ability to, get the drop on your opponent and affect initiatives and such. There are other effects that'll probably either boost up your damage, your resistance, and so on, or give you more damage, and they'll be and this is the time when most of them will activate. Some of them will be floating effects. They're gonna wait to resolve at a certain point later in the round and such. So once you flip and reveal the cards, we go to our next step, which is the active step. So I couldn't fit. If you're wondering why it looks like this, that's because it'll cover my face. It'll cover the cards here like that. So you're gonna be seeing that for the next few slideshows. So I hope you can be able to read the words here, be able to see the words here. So you go into the active step, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to determine which of the two cards in the set gets to have initiative, and thus be the one to activate their card. So what you're going to do is you're going to check your target icon. This is the little icon on the top right, as you can see here on the arrows. All right? So what's going to happen is you got to make sure that that icon matches the card that your opponent is playing. So in this case here, Light Attack is looking for that throw card. Just like I said earlier, it's looking for a throw card, which is the yellow one. And Brock's block card is looking for the attack card, which is the green card. So as you can see here, this is not a throw card, this is a block card, and this is an attack card, which is green, which means that Brock succeeded and he gained the initiative. So what happens now is Nagisa's card gets shifted sideways, horizontal, like this, and as the result, and Brock's card is what is called stand. It is standing. That's the horizontal, the vertical position. Okay. And because his card stands, he gets to activate whatever looming effects he has. In this case here, since this is a block card, he gets to draw his card. And whatever this effect does, if it's been waiting in the wings, we'll get to activate. Okay. So, what happens if we have a tie here? Well, a tie occurs if both players does not match the target. So in this case here, both players have attack cards. These are not throw cards, which is what both of these cards are targeting, as you can see with the yellow T. So as a result, this is a tie. And we're going to go into the first tiebreaker, and that tiebreaker is called advantage. Okay. So this is advantage in the active step. This is the first tiebreaker. The first tiebreaker goes to the frame arrows. The frame arrows, which is underneath your power meter, as you can see where the arrows are pointing at. And the tiebreak goes like this. The player with the least number of arrows, least number of arrows, gets to stand, gains initiative, and that card stands. While the player with the most number of arrows does not gain initiative, and it will shift. So here, light attack versus Brock's medium attack. The Nagisa's light attack has 3 frame arrows, and Brock's medium attack has 4 frame arrows. So as a result, his card shifts, and he doesn't get to do 7 damage. He doesn't get a chance to gain meter. He doesn't get to activate his effect or anything. It's dead. As for Nagisa, she's going to get to do 3 damage. She's going to get 1 physical token, and she gets access to her effect, which was waiting in the wings in her card as her card stands. Okay. So this here was part of the major research prior to solving rock paper scissors. As you can see here, the frame arrows is based on frame data, Frame data is pretty much the animation that you see in fighting games that are played, and what it is, and what it does is, well, in a sense, it's like saying if you have if your character's animation is faster than your opponent's animation, you're gonna end up doing damage first, basically, because you were faster. So basically, that's what the frame arrows represent. So if by chance a tie is happening, then it goes down to your frame arrows, or in this case, the equivalent of your frame animation. So the faster your frames are, the faster you'll do damage before your opponent gets to do anything. So what happens if by chance the frame arrows are tied? So in this example here, Brock has his move card, Crouch, which has 3 frame arrows, and Nagisa has her light attack, which is 3 frame arrows. As you can see, they missed their target because Move is looking for a guard card. The Crouch card here, the purple Crouch card, is looking for the blue guard card, and this is an attack card. It's green. And Light Attack is looking for the throw card, which is yellow. And as you can see, it's not yellow; it's purple. It's the move card. So that's the the first type leads to the first tie break, which was the arrows. And so they checked their arrows, and they each got 3 frame arrows, which means that it's a tie. So as a result, it goes into the final tiebreaker, which is called priority. So here's the final tiebreaker, priority. So when the frame arrows are tied, you're going to need to ascertain the previous results of the previous set to determine who gets the result for the current set. That's a little. I know that sounded a little confusing. So here's how it goes. Very simple. Okay, you go to your previous set. If you have a previous set, and you check the positions of your cards. So in this case here, in this set here, let's say set 1, where it's medium and light attack. You see that Brock's medium attack had been shifted, and Nagisa's light attack is standing. So as a result, since the Crouch card and the light attack card are tied, this tiebreaker goes in favor of Nagisa because her previous card stood. So in this case here, her light attack stands as the results, under results, and Brock's Crouch card shifts because he didn't have priority, and he was shifted previously. He didn't have the initiative. He did not have the initiative in his previous set, so therefore he loses his current set. Okay. Now, as an extra insurance, chances are, if it's your first set and you have this tie, this virtual tie going into the priority, if there aren't any cards that were played, in this case the first set, which will only happen in the first set, both cards will get shifted. Secondly, if the previously played cards in the previous set, both cards are either shifted or standing, but if they're both cards are standing, as a result of the ability to wake up, which allows you to stand your card along with your opponents, or if they both were already shifted, as was the case of say set 1, where both cards had to shift because there was no previous card, both cards will be shifted. So basically, if there's a virtual tie, no matter what, the cards will always constantly shift. So no matter so it's got to be like this here, where you see check previous set played cards. In order to get the results of the shifted and stood card, both one card has to be shifted and the other card has to be standing in order to get the result of your current set to shift and stand. Okay, so it's a bit it's a little I know it's a little hard the way that I explained it. If I had my table with me and my printed out cards, I would have been able to really show you how it physically moves. So your standing card resolves and such, uh, resolves the damage, the effects, and so on. That's when you go to the confirm step. That is the next step. So here's the confirm step. Okay, so each player is going to check the position of their cards to determine who gets to execute a combo. That's what the confirm step does. So how confirm in fighting game community terms looks like in the fighting game, when you see a player throw an attack, usually it would be called normally it would be called pokes or checks, depending on how the player approaches. But basically what it is it's kind of like you're checking to see if the opening is valid enough, you know, that you're able to damage your opponent, and if the opening is good, upon doing the damage, then you could start executing your combo. And that's what this is supposed to emulate. So this is what it would look like in sets that would lead to a combo. So the rule is the first player to stand their card in 2 consecutive sets gets to execute their combo. So what happens is here, set 1, as you can see the result, Brock got to stand his card because he had a throw versus Nagisa's guard card, which was black, which was what it was weak to. So she had to shift. In set 2, her light attack was faster through the first tie break, which was the frame arrows. Her light attack was faster than the medium attack, so Brock had to shift his card, and she got to do damage and get a token. And then in the third set, since they had to go to the final tiebreaker because their target missed, you know, throw card versus he was looking for a guard card, she was looking for a throw card, and their frame arrows tied 3-3, so they had to do the final tie break, which was priority. And since this card was shifted in the set 2, since Brock's card was shifted and Nagisa's card was standing, that's the same results they're going to get. Brock had to shift his card and Nagisa's standard card. And now as you can see here, in set 2 and set 3, Nagisa stood her cards 2 consecutive times. Now she gets to execute her combo. Okay. Now, if neither player stood their cards in 2 consecutive steps, then you have to play. Then both players will go to the next set, which is a maximum of 5 per neutral phase. So as you see here in set 1, they did the check. They didn't get 2 consecutive. There's no 2 consecutive stands, so they played the second set. And in the second set, Nagisa this time gets to stand her card while Brock had to shift. So since there's no since Brock doesn't have 2 consecutive stands and Nagisa doesn't have 2 consecutive stands, they have to play the third set. And in the third set, as you can see, Nagisa got her second consecutive stand, while Brock had to shift the second time. So now she gets to do the combo. So that is overall what sets look like in the neutral phase. That leads into the combo. Okay. So now we go to the first sub step combo, which is in the confirm step, to execute a combo. So executing a combo, the way it works is where your card that stood, that got you to execute the combo, is your first card of the combo. So as you can see here, this is set 3. Now remember what happened before. Set 2 and set 3 here, which was 2 consecutive sets. In the third set here, this light attack that's standing here before the crouch is your first card of your combo. And what this means is that in order to play out your combo, the next card you play has to have frame arrows equal to or greater than your light attack, which is right here. This light attack here has 3 frame arrows, so the next card you play has to have 3 frame arrows or more. So you play in your combo medium attack. Medium attack has 4 frame arrows, which is 1 more than the light attack. You get to do your damage, you get another token, and you got your effect floating. And you have your effect. The next card you decide to play, now as you notice here, the frame arrows are all black. That means you can continue on for the next card. So the next card you play is another medium attack. Again, medium attack has, this medium attack, the second one here, has 4 frame arrows, which matches your previous card's frame arrows, which was 4 from this medium attack. You do your damage, you get your token, your physical token, and you have your effect, which is which now you have your options. However, since this combo, you got all these physical tokens, 4, because you also have this here, this one here, in addition to that one. You decided to play what is called, which is the Fury type that I talked about. The Fury type is basically your EX move, in your EX move, your specialized EX move, which you will find in Street Fighter, games like Street Fighter and many others, which is basically an overpowered, but very, very powerful version of your special move. And using the 2 tokens that I physically had, I paid the 2 physical tokens, and I played the card, and I get to do my damage. Now, if you've noticed here, there's this one red arrow here. That's your end arrow. That's the ender, basically. It pretty much ends your combo automatically whenever you see this one red arrow. So if you look at the frame arrows here, the previous cards, 3 black, 4 black, 4 black, then you got 5 black, but then you got your red arrow here. And basically, this automatically stops your combo. And it automatically stops your combo. You can also end your combo anytime you wish. So you don't have to play Power Flight, or if you don't have enough to play Power Flight, or you don't have cards that are equal to or higher, you can automatically end. You can end it at will too. You don't have to play all your cards. But if it's just all black, you're free to end your combo at any time. You don't have to play the red arrow to end your combo. Although you shouldn't hesitate to play. you know what I mean. But my point is that you're not stuck. Your combo ends legally at will whenever you want. Most players tend to do that. Very more expert level players tend to stop their combos mid-flight. They don't do their enders or anything. They just do like a couple of quick hits and then they stop. Usually to do like a frame trap, or they want to set you up for another meaty beatdown, or they probably want to reset and pull back a bit because circumstances might force their hand to do so. It's perfectly normal, but that's basically how a combo would look like. And the only cards you could play in your combo off of sets in this situation is attack cards and throw cards. Only attack cards and throw cards can be done in this combo, which come when you come off of sets. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, stun. Stun happens when your opponent's stun defense points. In this case here, Brock has 25 stun defense points in his card here, and your combo here did 32 damage. Did 32 damage, and this resulted in your opponent getting stunned. So what this means is that you get to have an entirely new free combo, that you can execute. Basically, it's an entirely new combo that comes off of the stun. This is perfectly normal. That happens when you see in fighting games, especially Street Fighter. When you see the little stars going off their head, your combo kind of ended right there and then, because your opponent just fell down. You see the stars, they get back up, they're staggered, and they're rocking back and forth. Your combo basically automatically ended from there. So now you have an entirely new combo to work with. To really punish your opponent or finish them off if possible. And it's called a free combo. When you stun your opponent, it's called a free combo. And the way this works is your combo automatically ends no matter what. It doesn't matter if you have black arrows or red arrows. It doesn't matter. Or if you have any effect that lets you extend combos, you're not going to get to do that. Your combo just dies right there and then. And what you do is you draw 3 cards from your deck immediately, so you can get a little hand replenishment. And what free combo does, unlike the regular normal combo does, is that you get to play all the card types. You could play the guard cards and the move cards in your combo, alongside your attack cards and throw cards. So this is actually pretty important too. If you happen to have like frenzies, you have the frenzy cards, or other payment cards, fury, frenzy, savage cards. You could be able, and you have physical tokens to pay with. You could be able to play those in the combo and reap the benefits of all those boosts and installs and such. So you just play all your card types. Again, combo rules still apply. You have to play frame arrows that are equal to or greater than the previous card. So after you play your first card, which could be any number of arrows, because you don't have a card, previously played card, you could play 3, 1 through 6. So let's say you play 3, again, then the next card has to have 3 frame arrows or higher in order to play the next card. And you just keep going with what you got in your hand and just dish out all the damage you want. You still have to pay the charge cost, no matter what. When you're executing combos, no matter what, you still gotta pay. You still gotta pay the meter cost in your combos as usual. And as always, if it's blank, like in the case here with this medium attack, it's still free. Okay. Now, 2 key things though to make note: if you play a savage card, it does not trigger stun, and free combos cannot trigger stun either. So there's not gonna be this crazy loop going on where you just stun and you do a free combo and I stun. I get to do another free combo. No. You only get 1 free combo. That's it, and you're done. You don't get to stun your opponent. And savage cards are very powerful, so they don't have they don't trigger stun because they really high. Especially, I'm sure in the final product they'll be much higher in damage than what they currently are in this prototype. But that's how the stun works. And again, the same rules as the combos. You don't have to. You can stop your combo at any time, or if you get to the that red arrow, it automatically stops the combo. So that's that's stun and free combo in a nutshell. And once that's done, once your combo is done, or if you play through 5 sets with no combo executed, you go to the reset phase. We are now in the reset phase. So that's the only 2 ways you can end up in the reset phase. You play through 5 sets without anybody executing the combo, or if the player that executed their combo ends their combo. The combo is done. They finish their combo up, and you go right to the reset phase. And during the reset phase, all you do is just discard all the cards that you played, both players. Then you get to take your hand, and you could choose as many cards as you want and discard it. Okay, you could discard as many cards. You could drop your whole hand. You could discard 1 card, whatever you need, whatever you feel you need, whatever you want to keep, or if you want to just do a whole fresh hand, like a full mulligan kind of thing, you could do that. But you are free to discard as many cards from your hand as you want. Then you draw to your striker's hand size, which again I said, the fighters have 5 card hands, 6 card hands, 7 card hands. That's your maximum. You have to go to that. You cannot exceed that number whatsoever. Stun defense points. Stun defense now. Crud. I apologize for that. I'll explain in a second here. I missed one thing. I do apologize for that. So you fully heal the striker's stun defense points. No. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry about that. I'm actually perfectly fine. No, I'm fine. So any stun defense, now bear in mind that any damage done, now stun defense points will reset. You can't carry over whatever damage you've done in your current round to the next round to stun your opponent. So let's say you did 20 damage to your opponent. That 20 damage does not carry over to stun your opponent. That gets wiped out. That's what I was thinking of. I apologize for that. That's on me. So whatever damage you dealt to your opponent this entire round does not carry over to the next round. So your stun defense gets cleaned up. You're fully healed, basically. And you go, and then you restart, and then you do the neutral phase again. You start over at the neutral phase. So that's basically it. That's the gameplay in a nutshell. That's the 112th draft of Savage Strikers, the fighting card game. So I hope that helped out for all of you. I hope soon enough I can be able to get the cards printed out. Well, that's the thing. That's probably not going to happen until February. I'll get to print out the cards, and then I can actually do a full-blown demonstration on how the turn flow looks with the cards physically. So for the coming weeks, in this instance, I have 12 fighters total, and all 12 fighters have to be updated to fit the 112th draft. And I will be doing one video for each fighter, and they'll be live stream. I will live stream them, so hopefully I won't have any hiccups like I got today. So aside from updating and also updating the stories, the fighters got their backstories as well as the world build. I'm gonna do a rewrite video for that as well. So that'll be 13 additional videos I'm looking at, one for each fighter and one for the storylines. As for goals, I have not. In terms of business goals, I'm not gonna go deep into that. I'm not gonna go deep into that at this time because I'm not where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'm in an undisclosed location. I'm not in my office, so I'm kind of suffering a 1 month delay as a result. But in terms of what I want goals for the game design, there are 3 that I do want accomplished. That I wanted to accomplish. Now the first one is cancel. Now let me jump back over here. Perfect. So cancel has existed in Savage Strikers for a very, very long time, and the rule here on the cancel originally was relegated to the frame arrows. And that was within the rules. It would be under the combo rule. It would be right here. It would be in the combo step. But because because it evolved, the cancel had to be adjusted. And what ended up happening is that it got relegated to the effect box rather than in the primary rules here at the top here with where it says combo. You would see cancel, and it would explain what cancel does. Now the way cancel works overall is that if your card you have your currently played card, and if you have a card in your hand that has frame arrows that are equal to or one more than your currently played card. So in this case here, Nagisa has 3 frame arrows in her light attack. During sets, if you happen to have a card that is 3 or 4 arrows, you can play on top of that, and that automatically starts your combo. So that's supposed to represent what you see in cancel during fighting games with that quick brush, which means that if, for example, here Power Flight. If Power Flight had 3 or 4 arrows, I would have played Power Flight. So it would have looked like in fighting games, that quick punch, and then would have canceled into her Power Flight attack right there on the far right. Basically, that's how cancel is supposed to work. But from previous play tests, it was not in the effect box. Like I said, it was in the core rules, and apparently it had information overload on the play testers. So I moved it over to the effect box. I don't know if that's a good idea or a good game design, good for the game design. I would rather it be on the frame arrows because it's associated with the frame arrows itself. But I'm not sure how I could be able to pull off the information overhead and not create an information overload with regards to cancel, because it's very simple enough. It's just one. It's either the same tied frame arrow, the same frame number of frame arrows, or one more to be able to do a cancel. But that's something that's going to need to be play tested a little bit more vigorously, because this is a good spot, because I feel like I'm wasting an entire effect box on something better than cancel, if cancel could be done within the frame arrows itself, if that makes sense. The second game design goal that I want to get accomplished is synergy. This was something one of my playtesters says is a must for this game because it fits perfectly. And to explain synergy for those of you who may not know, basically it's like two effects that can work off of each other to create a more bigger, grander effect. A perfect example I could give you is in Magic the Gathering. One of my favorite combinations is these two cards called Llanowar Elf and Quirion Ranger, and they're elf cards, and they generate mana, which is the economy of Magic the Gathering you need to buy, which you need to generate to play cards in your hand. And what it is that the Llanowar Elf has an effect where it can give you free mana if you turn the card sideways, similar to how you see here with the shift. If you shift the card sideways, you get one free mana. And what the Quirion Ranger does is it'll allow you to take one basic land, which is your economy source, your source of economy, back to your hand, and you can untap one creature, which is what the Llanowar Elf is. He's a creature. So what it basically does is when you have the Forest card in play, you tap the Forest card, you get one mana. You tap the Llanowar Elf, you get your second mana. Then you use the Quirion Ranger's effect, and you return your land card to your hand, and you untap the Llanowar Elf. Then what you do is you play your land again. Make sure you don't play any other lands because you only get one per turn. So you play your land, you return your forest from your hand back to the play for your one land per turn. You tap that, so you get your third mana. You tap the Llanowar Elf for your fourth mana. Now you have 4 mana off of one land card, one physical land card, and one creature card. That's synergy. That's synergy in a nutshell. These two cards was able to generate a combination effect that got you 4 mana, 4 economy, for the price of one land. So you wouldn't have to worry about playing multiple lands, and that's how synergy works. And synergy is something that I need to be able to that I want to tap into for Savage Strikers. Each fighter with their own unique synergetic combo that'll allow bigger effects to happen on top of all the damage and everything. So that's what I mean by synergy. And with 12 fighters, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to pull that off with their own unique decks and generate their own unique fighting styles and give them unique character within that synergy. And finally, the third thing that I want to accomplish, and this is the big one, and that is perfect, or in this case, a perfect win. In fighting games, it's possible. The way perfect win works in fighting games is basically you don't take any damage whatsoever, like not even one hit point of damage, and you knock your opponent out. If you knock your opponent out without taking any damage whatsoever, you get a perfect win. You get you get a perfect win. And that's what I want to be able to have achieved in this one, is to get that perfect win. And I feel confident that it can be accomplished with this game, given with the game design. But it will take rigorous playtesting, and every single fighter, all 12 of them, has to be able to pull off a perfect. And if I could get that to happen, this will make the game very much complete. In that sense, because I already got the time over with your deck being depleted, which was great. So now I got to try and get the perfect to work. because like I said, cancel already works. I just don't know where to place it at. If it really should be placed in effect or within the rules. And synergy is a work in progress because I have to get the characters play tested and whatnot. But the perfect win for me, that's the I guess for Savage Strikers, that's the holy grail. That's the holy grail at this point. To get a perfect win for each of the, capable for all 12 fighters. And if that can happen, this game is good. This game will be golden, I guess, so to speak. So just to get that to get the perfect win. And it was kind of funny because one of my playtesters did pull off a perfect win, but to be fair, they were still learning the game. They were still trying to understand the mechanism and such. But at some point, when players really master their fighter, the deck, how it works and everything, and understand the meta and whatnot, that's when the true test is going to come in as to whether a perfect can be achieved or not. And that's where the real victory lies in. So that's it. Those are so this is it. So next up is updating the all 12 fighters. All 12 fighters for from this point forward, and there will be it'll all be live streams and get the story set up. And hopefully once I move into my office, I'll actually do a proper video with the cards printed out so you can see what the flow of the gameplay looks like physically, and see where to go from there. On a business level and such. So I thank you all for joining me. I really hope you'll all get to embark on this journey with me. For those of you who are new, for those of you who subscribed after being at PAX Unplugged, again, thank you, and welcome to this new leg of the journey. Those of you who are watching the videos recording and watching this recording, welcome to the next to the next evolution of Savage Strikers. I think I got everybody covered. Wholeheartedly, I do want to also give a shout out to NYC Playtest before I sign off. These guys really did a great job helping me translate video game mechanics into tabletop game mechanics, and helping me learn tabletop game mechanics in general, and be able to get this where it is at. And they're very cool. They're very cool guys. They're very encouraging, very helpful, and each and every one of them. And believe me, there was a whole lot of them, a lot of different hands that touched this game in some variation in whatever draft. Their input really made this happen, and without them, because I had nobody to play test with, just so y'all know, before I joined NYC Playtest, I had nobody since 2009 to play test with, so I had no way of getting this to where it is. And NYC Playtest, hands down, they did a great job guiding me and helping me learn, teaching me, and helping me get this game. Thank you guys, all of you at NYC Playtest. Really, thank you very much. You are a great help. So, with that said, I thank you all for joining me. I'll conclude it with showing a little slideshow of the 111th draft, just to get a good look, just to get a good open look at a game. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the live streams, or please, I look forward for you all to see the videos, video recordings if necessary. Either way, I look forward to all of you in this next phase. And with that said, I wish you all a good night, a buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai.